Hello, my friends. Welcome to episode 63 of our Together Runs. I want you to begin by touching some element of nature. I am going to touch these berries on this tree here in Marina del Rey. Have you found something to touch? If you cannot touch anything... Oh, my watch is not going. There we go. If you cannot touch anything, then find your feet on the ground and just remind yourself that even if there's cement there, even if there's a treadmill there, you are still on our earth. You are still grounded. There's earth underneath. There's still nature underneath. So I want you to think about that for just a second. Okay, we ready to begin? In 3, 2, and run. 1, even, not run. 3, 2, and run. Well, that works too, doesn't it? Well, off we go, friends. Reporting to you from Marina del Rey in California. It is just past sunrise here, and I will be recording 4 Together Runs while I am here. This one will be ready for you on the regular feed, and the other ones you'll get a workout, you'll get a group run, and you'll get a long run, and those will be coming soon, so you have to hold off for those. But yeah, I'm here. I haven't been back to LA since 2014, and my God, I've missed it. I was so excited to come here. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes, but first I want to begin by our usual. We've done the nature check-in, so next we're going to do the body scan. If you're a first time Together runner, what that means is I am going to take you through a check-in through as we work through your body. You're going to start at the top of your head when I tell you. You're just going to check in, feeling the various body parts, just to see how your body is doing, and just to ground ourselves further in where we are in the present right now. So, starting at the top of your head, working your way down, going down through your forehead, into your eyes, making sure those are nice and relaxed, not holding any tension there, going down into your nose and mouth, around your jaw, making sure nothing is, you're not holding your tension, not holding a grip with your clenching, going around the back of your head to your inion, checking in with that, and the back of your neck, going round to the front, into your shoulders, going into your upper arm and your lower arm, elbow, wrist, hand, palm, and fingers. Coming back to the main part of your torso and going down into your chest and your stomach and your hips and pelvis, going into the tops of your quads and your hamstrings, around the back of the knee, front of the knee, into your calves and shins, the inner ankle, the outer ankle, your heel, the arch of your foot, the top of your foot, your ball of your foot, And finally, your toes. How's everything feeling? For me, mostly nice and relaxed. My right shoulder's a little bit tight. I feel like I might have slept on it funny. And my left heel is a little bit achy, I suppose. But otherwise, my body's feeling pretty good. Travelled for was about 4 hours of flying yesterday, so a little bit stiff, but not bad. How are you? In the next part of our run, we're going to go ahead and do a senses check-in. We're going to end with our sight, our vision, because that is the place we underutilise the most. And we're going to begin by taking a nice deep breath. And one more. What do you smell? For me, I smell one of my favourite smells, ocean. Love it. What do you taste? Me, I taste toothpaste. Next, if you would like to, let's change it up. Those of you who get that inside joke. If you would like to, you can take out your headphones at this point, and you're going to take about 30 to 45 seconds, and you're just going to listen to what you hear in your surroundings, or if you prefer, you can just listen to what you hear in my surroundings. Ready? Off we go. Was that a seal? Sounded like it. Or a sea lion. Sea lion, right? Few more seconds. Okay. What did you hear? For me, I think I heard a sea lion. Those of you who took your headphones out, I definitely heard some kind of barking in the ocean life kind of way. I also heard plane. I heard my footsteps and the sound of some kind of vent running, like air conditioning or something, I'm not sure. Actually, most places around here don't seem to have, I shouldn't say most, a lot of places don't seem to have air conditioning around here, which kind of I like. That was about it for me. Next, we're going to go on to our sense of touch, tactile. What is it you feel? Where is your awareness being drawn to? You can follow where it goes, just as your attention jumps, or you can let it sit somewhere if that feels right to you, to just be in one place for a few seconds and then your attention gets drawn away. Whatever it's doing, just follow that. Again, I'm going to give you about 30 to 45 seconds to just check in with your body. What do you feel? Few more seconds. Okay. What did you feel? What sensations were jumping out to you the most? For me, my shoulder, definitely a bit achy. My eyes are definitely puffy, and I'm not just saying that. It was very visible, and Steve, even when I FaceTimed him before I started this run, he was like, your eyes are very puffy, and I can feel it because it's kind of a little bit hard to see, to be honest. But yeah, yeah. And what else do I feel? I feel my phone in my hand. I feel the cool breeze against my skin, and I feel my shorts at my waist. I think, friends, I might just, you're not going to notice anything, but I might just pause the recording to take a little video of what I see right now, because it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. You won't see any different, but I'm going to just take a little video. Okay. Actually, I didn't even have to switch the recording. It's funny. You'll get to see how puffy my eyes are, because I did take a picture and a video. But B, I know all the other 62 of these, I was like, can't take a picture. And now you're like, you have been able to stop and take a picture all this time, and you haven't? Yeah. Okay. Finally, a sense of sight. I'm excited for this one because I have a beautiful view right now. So I want to take mine in. I want you to let your eyes wander wherever your sight goes. However, as always, one request I have is just that you find one thing during the time to really hone in on the details of. Find something you wouldn't normally pay attention to and just pay attention to the detail. So, off you go. Few more seconds. Okay, what did you see? What do I see? I see a sunrise with some clouds in between, but I think sometimes that's the best way to see it, because it is just the way to really make it more striking. I see boats all around me. I see calm water. I see a plane. I just heard that noise again. I don't know if you did a few seconds ago. So now I'm really curious. Let's just listen. That's it. Or is that... There's people... There's a boat going by, like with people rowing. Is that a noise that makes? Oh no, it's the sea lions. I see it. Let's go. We can go over there. Or seals or something like... Yeah, let's do it. Let's figure out where that is and get over there. I see them all. Cool. Oh, that's awesome. Wow. Well, there we go. And as you see, lots of other different plants, some of which, it's quite funny, are plants that I have in my house, which obviously, you know, Missouri is not like California weather, so they can handle outside. Yeah, there's another one, Dracaena. I have that one. I've seen snake plants. I have that one. Yeah, it's funny. Okay, thank you so much for joining in with me for this. Senses check-in, check-in with your body. And now it is time for us to check in with our mind. Until my mind's a bit scattered. So I ask you, how are you? Really? You finished already? You gotta dig a little deeper, like they say in Princess and the Frog. I know I've already said that once before, but it just still came into my head. Bailey still loves Tiana. So go a bit further. Tell me more. Few more seconds. Okay, now I ask you, you've shared with me, thank you for sharing, even if you would never have actually shared with me, you still had that intention, and I appreciate that. You shared it with yourself, and that's good too. Okay, how am I, really? I do feel tired. I feel like mentally and physically, my body and mind feel a bit tired. I feel like I'm having a bit of trouble getting some words out to you. I didn't sleep great last night, and so, you know, that's not surprising, but mostly I feel kind of just a peacefulness from being back here. And while I've never stayed in Marina del Rey before, I just love California. I really do. love it so much. And I missed it. I missed this part. Yeah, it has a lot of flaws, but so do we. So does everywhere. And it just feels good to be back here. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited to be reunited with one of the most important friendships of my life, who is here, and I stood on his boat last night, and it was just so nice to catch up and just, I mean, I said I haven't been here in 8 years, and we've barely talked in that time, and so having hours to just share our life experiences to this point and, you know, be brutally honest with one another, because we don't have that relationship where he sees me often, or I see him, or we know what's going on. So it's just a very safe place, and yeah, I'm just very thankful for that, and excited. Tomorrow I'm hosting an event at Allbirds, and that's going to be really fun. But yeah, I just feel good to be back here. Yeah, kind of it. Okay, right, so we have about 10 minutes left for the 30-minute group. I'm going to try and find you those seals or sea lions before that time is up. What was the order again? Or the way? Sea lions have ears, I think, and seals don't have ears. Is that right? So that's how I'll know which one it is. I think it would probably be sea lions, right? I've only ever seen sea lions hanging out on the side of man-made things, but I don't know. Is anyone out there an expert in this? Camilla? Anyone? Okay. So the next thing I want to do is ask you, what updates do you have for me? Since the last time we ran, what have you been up to? What do you want to share? I would love to hear, your updates from, well, just whatever you would like to share. If this is our first time running together, I'd love to hear a little about you. But otherwise, yeah, this is some time where if we were running together, we would just be getting into the general conversation of our run. So go ahead and tell me, what would you like to share today? Let's see where your mind goes. Finished. Keep going. What leads naturally from that point that you could tell me more about? I'm looking around, not seeing anything. Don't know if I'm at the wrong angle to see them. May well be. We heard them though, didn't we? give you a few more seconds to share whatever it is you feel like sharing. Okay, thank you for taking the time to share with me. Obviously, if we were together, I'd probably be asking some follow-up questions, and we would continue down that path ourselves. However, that's the one downside of this, is I can't hear your responses. But we are working on something to allow us to share those experiences together, and maybe me remember and write down the things we do talk about, the questions I do ask within a run, so we can have a bit of a conversation about it afterwards. So what would I like to share with you, knowing we have 5 minutes and I'm long-winded? Well, I think the biggest thing that comes to mind for me is just a little bit about my experience in California. Many of you may or may not know this story. I kind of, in my interviews and things that I've done, I kind of went through it quickly because it was a huge part of my life, but people mostly wanted to know about the current, and it's just kind of one chapter. So I haven't really said too much of it. So I'll begin it now, and I'll share it afterwards. After we do our strides at 30 minutes, I'll continue it if we need to. Okay. So when I finished high school in 2006, I had run really well in my running. I was 16. Sorry, no, I wasn't 16. I was 18. I had finished 16th in the country nationally. Was it that year? Yeah, it must have been that year, that cross-country season. So the fall before that. And that had been enough to get me some offers of scholarships to the US. Now, my teachers had really not known about coming over to the US. And so the message in my PE class had been basically, don't do it. If you go, they will run you into the ground and then send you home. And at this point, I was not very highly trained. I was running very, very low mileage for how fast I was running. And so that scared me. And so I don't remember how it happened, but I found myself on a forum about going to school in the US. And I came across this man who was English. He was already done with university or, college. But we're coming to the beach now. This is cool. But he was living on a campus of a university, and he said to me, you can probably live here too if you want to volunteer with the track team. And I thought, wow, well, that's good, because going somewhere I don't know, going to a country when I've heard all these bad things, when I don't know anything, for 4 years committing to that seems like a big risk. And I wasn't really feeling great about the options I had in the UK. And so I thought, I actually went out to visit before I graduated high school, and I loved it. So there I was. I signed up for that school year. Don't know how it worked, to be honest, to live on that campus in Aliso Viejo, California. And so I came there, and I I work as a volunteer. I helped some people locally, just adults, parents, with the guy who was there to just give them exercise basically. And I did a few other things and stayed there. And they didn't charge me to live there. So I dipped into, I had the privilege of my parents supporting me. So I used that to cover my food, my expenses. But I was just there for 8 months. And, all right, 15 seconds to go. So when we get to 30 minutes, those of you in the 30-minute group, I want you to come to a walk. And we're all going to do 2 strides in about a minute. I'll tell you what those are. I will continue my story, and this is where it gets interesting. After this, so 30-minute group, if you want to, you're welcome to hang out afterwards and keep listening. Okay, so strides. If you haven't done strides before, we're going to do 2 of these with a walk break in the middle. You are going to do 10 to 15 seconds of about 80% of your max. And it's just going to be taking more steps rather than taking big steps. I know the name stride can be a bit misleading. And we're all going to do it together. And then if you're doing 45 and 60 minutes, we'll do another 2 at 45 and another 2 at 60. 30-minute group, you can walk in between these or just stop. The rest of us are going to keep a light jog while we do it. Okay, we ready? 3, 2, and 1. Up you go. Okay, come to a jog or a walk. Just take 30 seconds or so, and then we'll go again. I feel like my eyes are finally starting to open a bit more. I needed those cucumbers that people do. It's weird because I'm in California, so I would have thought I'd been wide awake because of obviously the time change. Okay, we ready? 3, 2, and 1. And come to a jog or a walk. 30-minute group. You are more than welcome to continue listening to my story. Or you can head out. I'd love if you would take a picture of you right now, of what your background is, or what you see of you with that background, whatever it is you feel comfortable sharing. I really do love to see it. So thank you so much to those of you who have already sent me those. It just is the best thing for me to see. Thank you. And your shares help get this discovered. I mean, do you know Rinaldi, who's on the podcast on Friday? Well, actually, this may not come out when we think it will, but do you know an actress I love from Working Mums, writer, producer? She found these together runs through search, and that is because of you sharing it. So thank you to those of you who have. Okay, all right, so let's continue. So, got here in August, September of 2006, and the university I was staying at, for those of you who know Orange County well, was called SOCA. It was a international university, people from all over the world, primarily believed in a form of, I don't actually know, of Buddhism called SGI, Soka Gakkai International, but there was people from every walk of life there. It was a very small, 400 students, liberal arts, very open-minded, and the people there that I met were some of the most incredible people I've ever known, and I still stay in touch with quite a few of them, but there was one in particular who was like my best friend, who is the person I mentioned to you already, Deva, and there was nothing ever romantic there. We just had this deep bond, and he was very open-minded and a little bit hippie and very spiritual, and so I loved that, learning about that world. And so I spent my time here, had an amazing time. All along I'm obviously wondering the question of, do I want to stay here? Do I want to go to university here? And I remember going surfing one day with the assistant coach at the university, and she was this just absolutely just the sweetheart of a woman. She was so kind and sweet and caring, and she was just an amazing person for me to be around. And she was 10 years older than me, but neither of us cared. We just got on so well. She took me surfing. Her name was Gigi. It's Gigi. And she took me surfing one morning, and I came back and sorry, I ran into another woman, and I got back from the waves and I said, I want to stay. This is it. I want to stay. And so, along with my friends, including Gigi and Carla, who was the head coach at the time, and how amazing is that, by the way? An assistant coach and a head coach, both, role models for me, people in charge, just strong, fierce women. Carla, also a person of colour, which was amazing for me to see and learn from, her experiences that she would share. And they helped me to figure out a plan. And my plan was, it was too late for me to apply to the big ones. So my plan was and the reason I didn't want to stay there was purely because we just didn't think it was big enough for me, and they knew I had a lot of running ability there, even though during that year I really didn't run much. I ate Panda Express often, and I had Cold Stone and got this place called Golden Spoon all the time. Really, on the outside I wasn't taking care of myself, but on the inside I was just thriving and I loved it, and I was so happy to just be here, and I felt alive. And so it's interesting. I've got this bit I just jumped down, and so it was a very mentally healthy time, but yes, we all knew pretty early on that it was not going to be the place for me. And the head coach I mentioned was not the head coach who originally had I had made this sneeze, was not the original coach who had invited me out there. He had left that summer before I got there. And we've chatted since. I've seen him a few times and we're still friends. But Carla was not the one who brought me out there, and it just wasn't going to work, and we were all completely in agreement with that. So we made a plan that I was going to go to OCC, Occidental Community College, for 2 years, run for them. Met this coach called Marco, who I was going to run for. And then the goal was to then transfer to UCI or wherever else, but that was my goal. I wasn't in great running shape, so I couldn't have got it to them at that point. Definitely lost most of my fitness, but I knew that I could get back. And so that was the plan. And so then we get back to the UK, go to get my visa and get everything in place. Innocently, you have to put down where you're going to live. And Soca Aliza Viejo is about, I think it was probably half an hour, maybe more, to where OCC was. And so it wasn't realistic for me to put that I was living in Aliso, and even so, Aliso was so expensive I wouldn't have been able to live over there. So we put that I was going to stay with David's best friend. Put that on my form, innocently put that down, you know where this is going. Put that down on my form as where my address was going to be. He had an apartment, he had a spare room, I'd got to know him. Denied. Visa denied. And those of you who have ever applied for a visa or known anyone who's applied for a visa, a denial of visa is a mark next to your name that never goes away. And so I think I've shared this story. That moment of when I found out, came out of the embassy, was one of the single worst moments of my life. I just had no idea what I was going to do. I'd said no to all the English universities. I had an office job working for this bike manufacturer that I really hated. It was very much like data entry. And I felt so much shame, and I was so annoyed, and I was just crushed, absolutely crushed, and I couldn't see a way out. And that is just a few weeks later. I don't even remember how long later, a few weeks, couldn't have been more than that, was when Ferris State reached out to me. And the rest, as they say, is history. But that gives you a little bit of insight into why this place is special to me. I kind of laugh at the irony of, they told me they denied my visa here because they thought I was in a relationship with Mario, and my intention was to stay and get married, in which case they will always deny you. But I managed to A, override that denied visa and get a visa, but B, when I got there, the first day I arrived on that campus, I ended up meeting my husband, who I didn't know that then or for many years, but it's just funny that the way things work, right? So this area is special to me. As I said, it really allowed me to be myself and discover who I was, and the friendships I had were so deep that honestly I really struggled in college to make real, true friends, because the friendships I had here were so profound and deep and beautiful that I struggled to find that. And it always surprised me. I've got a lot of friends from high school, that I'm still close to this day. And that hasn't changed, 15 years later. Nice. This guy's spitting. That hasn't changed 15 years later. And I have these friends from my time here that I was only here with for 8 months. And that hasn't changed. How many years later? 2006? Well, it would be the same thing, right? And yet in my college, while I have some good friends, it's not many, considering I was there for 5 years. And I have a lot of friends, but no one I felt that. Two people come to mind who I had that deep relationship with, but even that, I don't know if it was as deep. So yeah, there was something magical about that university, being there at that time. And I'm just so thankful for it. So I feel them when I'm here. And I hope I get to see a few more of them. We're trying to make a plan. But yeah, all right, 45-minute group. Come to a walk. Give you about a minute. And we'll do 2 more strides. If you wouldn't mind, while you're just waiting or walking, go ahead and take a picture of your surroundings. Go ahead and take a picture of you so you can share it either on your social media or with me, just sending it to me. I really love to see them, and it means a lot to me. And you never know who's going to find it because of you sharing this. Okay, we ready? Let's do a stride. 3, 2, and 1. Come to a jog or a walk. Sorry we never found the sea lions. Can't figure out where they were. I think they must have just been off one of the, I don't know what the word is, docks. Yep. I see the word right now. Must have been one of the docks. I don't know which one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do one more stride. 3, 2, and 1. And come to a jog on a walk. 45-minute group. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really have loved having you here, and appreciate you. You're welcome to continue listening. I'll probably continue on a little bit with the California theme. But first, I think I want us to go through a body scan. I want you to check in with your body, and just at your own pace. I'm not going to call it out this time. Scan down, and I'll speak to you in a minute. Thank you for checking in with your body. How are things feeling compared to at the beginning? For me, feeling a lot better. My body is woken up, and yeah, everything is loose now. It's a lot of these blow-up pedal boards now. Really cool. And another funny, so I'll share a story actually. Deva, one of the times I came back to California to visit since I left, he took me out paddleboarding, and I remember being on the rental for the paddleboards, and I can't remember where we were. I want to say Dana Point, somewhere near there. And I was like reluctant because the waves were really strong to get out there. And I remembered from the days of surfing of having to push the board under, but paddleboards are a lot bigger and uncontrollable, to me at least. And so I felt nervous about that. And he was like, come on, basically giving me a kick up the butt, like, get on with it, get out there. And so I was like, cursing while I was out there, like as I was going out, pushing out through these pretty big waves. But then we got out to the flat and we were just paddleboarding around. And then the most amazing thing happened, which was a whale. A whaleboat comes by near us, and they're like, there's whales in the area. And we were like, oh, cool. And I mean, Dave, I think to him it was nothing big, nothing exciting, but we were just paddling around, and this whaleboat was kind of nearby, and then all of a sudden I see these would they be like barnacles or shells or something? I see them like coming up in front of my board, like so close I could bend down and touch them, like almost as if it was showing off for me by just coming up just in front of me. And there was a whale, and yeah, it was so close I could see the barnacles or shells, whatever they are, on its back. It was crazy. And I just was so excited that had happened, and it was such a good analogy for pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, and amazing things will happen. Like, I was cursing on my way out there, didn't want to go in, and we often feel like that, right? It's that fear of the what ifs that come to confront us in the face, and we're like, okay, well, what if, excuse me, sorry. But like, what if this happens? What if that happens? But then if you can push past that fear, which yes, is tough to do, but just taking a deep breath and saying, you know what, I'm just gonna do it, even if you're muttering under your breath like I was, can lead to something like that. And a similar thing happened when I was in Maui, and I had that surfing lesson for 3 hours, which the surf instructor is here right now. Like, what are the chances? So I'm going to see him this week as well. But anyway, so it just was such a good example, and that really, to me, represents what he as a friend did for me, was get me outside of my comfort zone and challenge me just enough to do things I wouldn't normally do. So I want to ask you, take a few minutes, think about an important relationship in your life. Not a romantic one, well, I guess it could be, but someone who just really played a pivotal role in shaping who you are. I just want you to think about that for a few minutes, and maybe send out some gratitude and thanks to that person for being that presence in your life. So let's go ahead and think about that for a few minutes. I'm also sending out right now thanks to whoever you're thinking of. Thank you for helping my friend, that's you, to discover who they are, to become who they are. Thank you. I'll let you keep going with those thoughts. See him. Where is that though? Alright, last few seconds of thinking about that friend or that person. Okay. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. And in the Together Run package, when we put it together with all these runs from all these different places, you will see that we're going to ask some thoughtful, interesting questions. We're going to have a place for us to discuss afterwards, so you can share with me when you, well, maybe not when you hear this, but soon after you hear this, who that person was for you, who you thanked. And yeah, I'm excited for this and appreciative of this. And it's been nice to share this walk down memory lane with you of, yeah, honestly, one of the most important periods of my life. I'm a very big believer in taking a year off after high school. I know that's very uncommon here in the US, but I mean, yeah, very rare in the US. In the UK, less rare, and I think some countries, even some of you listening, probably even less rare, maybe even a common thing people do. But I think that year was so critical for me in discovering who I am and what I wanted to be. And honestly, those people I met from so many rich, diverse, beautiful backgrounds, they started the seeds in me, a lot of which are influential in the decisions today. A lot of choices I have made, a lot of things I've spoken up about, and projects I have done have been, I can trace them back to being here with those friends. So for me, that year, while I quote unquote only came to America rather than going somewhere like Thailand or, I don't know, South Africa or something, I learned so much about myself, about the world, about being a good human, and I'm just so thankful for that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do our 2 strides. Are you ready? You can run in between. If you can handle 60 minutes, you can handle the jog in between. 3, 2, and 1. Come to a jog. Give ourselves another, 45 seconds. Here we go again. Okay, ready? 3, 2, and 1. Okay, come to a jog, and we'll just finish up with the last 30 seconds, and then we'll be done. Perfectly timed for me. I've been invited. Well, I'm not going to say that actually. You'll hear about that another day if you haven't already. Okay, friends, let's come to a walk. 3, 2, and 1. Thank you so much for joining me. I want you to take a moment to grab some element of nature. I'm going to touch a palm tree because why not? I'm in California, right? Touching a palm tree. Grounding in with nature. Thank you so much for joining me. Please go ahead and take a picture of yourself. Share with me. I'd love to see it, really. And you help me with the work that I do by doing that you're enjoying this. And I will see you next time. Thanks, friends.